Bouchard, and I am doing the topic car meets and why our communities need them. Okay, so I'm gonna start this off with a question. How many of you kind of, when you see something exotic on the road drive by, do you at least look at it? Do you at least watch it drive by?
100%.
Say yeah. Okay. What about you're like, wow, what was that? Yeah. What if you just scream oh my God, that's a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Well, isn't that crazy to think all of us, we come from so many different backgrounds and so many different ethnicities, and yet we appreciate one thing. That's a car. It's like seeing a unicorn, It's like something majestic, and I'm going to show you why that's important. So, I mentioned that all of us from different backgrounds come in to see this one thing and appreciate this one thing. And I think that we should take advantage of that, because I've gone to something called a car meet, and car meets are just what they say. It's a meeting of cars, and it happens all around the community, and it could be happening without you even knowing. In fact, there have probably been 5 this week. And the reason why this is so important is that when you go and you see those cars, you're not just seeing, all these different cars. You're seeing all these different kinds of people of all these different backgrounds, economic, racial, all that. And it's great to talk to these people and hear their stories, and not just their cars, but themselves. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up, the story of their cars. You see, it's not just the people, it's the cars. When you hear that story, when you know its purpose, the story behind the car, the story behind the people of the car, it really expands your knowledge. And understanding and appreciating other people's culture is something that we're losing as we globalize. We all are becoming one thing, but it's good to understand and appreciate the history behind something. And when you think of a car, cars have been around for just over 100 years, and yet there's so much history behind it. There's so much history behind the racing and the development of the car and the people that design it. So when you see this picture, you see something that's Italian, something that's German, Japanese, and back there I think that's a Ford Focus, so American. It's crazy to see so many different things from so many different regions in one place. So, what does this do? It provides us opportunities. When we develop this knowledge of other people and develop this understanding of other things, we gain an appreciation for it. And what does that appreciation do? It adds more passions. When we have more passions, it adds more jobs to our system. Jobs like photography. This is a shot that I took. I love to take pictures of cars. That is my one thing that not one thing, but one major thing that I love to do. In fact, in Wilmington, I am a freelance automotive photographer. Soon to be just like a normal freelance photographer. People need to do portraits or whatever. And why do I like to do this? Well, people always say that photos tell a story. And that's what it is. It's art. I see cars as art. It's appreciating the art behind, all this German culture and what these people develop. What do they like? Why is the Porsche shaped like that? Well, it's the engine's in the rear, and the developer, Ferdinand Porsche, was a very tall guy, so he had to fit in the car. So the roof, you can't see it, but the roof is very high and sloped like that. It's just crazy to think about. And then this is another shot I took. It's a Model T. I edited the photo to look like it was taken back in, the 20s, the 30s, because that's the thing that it adds. It adds a story to it. It adds life to the photo, but it's modern, but it's not. It's classic. I took this in November, but it looks like it was taken in 1920. You don't really see the driver in his sunglasses and baseball cap. Another shot. That's my truck. It's just something. It's kind of a beachy theme. And that's what I love. People love Tacomas for their beachy aesthetic. They love, when you think of a surfer, you think of a Tacoma. But also you think reliability. You think something that you can really trust to be there for you for decades upon decades. For years and years, pulling you from point A to point B. That's a Tacoma. And people say that in 30 years, it'll still be towing trailers with lawnmowers and bicycles in it. That's a Range Rover, resembling the sign of wealth and success since like the 60s in England. It has a lot of cool stories behind it. And although I'm not a huge fan of the stories behind it, it is interesting to see how it's developed throughout the years. You know, it's been around forever and its design has definitely changed, but it's still outstanding and off-roading. You see, this appreciation has really done something to me. Like it's gotten me out into the world and to take pictures and to just be involved in my community. And to have that appreciation, I am so thankful for. Because I wouldn't have been able to meet so many different kinds of people and understand what they're doing in life had I not adapted this weird appreciation for cars. So, I want y'all to just think for a little bit. Understand, I know it's kind of weird, but imagine if so many of us met at car meets. You know, would it really be a bad thing? Of course, you know, taking account of our situation with a mask and a disease going on, but you know, think after that. It's outside. It's nice. It's just beautiful to admire not just nature, but also the creation that we make, and it really brings us together. And I think in a world today, we can take anything that could really bring us together right now. So, thank you guys for watching.